What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 3, Thursday Night Football.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
Okay, in this video, I'm going to give you my top picks for the Thursday Night Football Showdown between the Carolina Panthers and the Houston Texans. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Oh, and good news, guys. Make sure to stay tuned to the very end of this video because we removed the box that was popping up and blocking the lineup. So now you can see a full lineup using these picks that we made in this video if you stay to the very end. Okay, guys, let's take a look at this Thursday Night Football Showdown between the Carolina Panthers and the Houston Texans. So at the quarterback position, I don't really like either of these guys. Sam Darnold is overpriced, although he is averaging 21.5 fantasy points per game on the season. I don't like that Vegas thinks this is going to be a low-scoring game. Only 43 points scored in this game, and they have the Carolina Panthers favored by 8.5. Now, Sam Darnold is going to be about 53% owned here. He's $11,200 DraftKings salary. Just going to be hard for me to pay $11,200 for Sam Darnold. But on the other side of the ball, you got Davis Mills, who only scored 7 fantasy points last week. He's only going to be about 36% owned, but he's only $8,400 DraftKings salary. And because Vegas thinks that the Houston Texans are going to be trailing by 8.5 here, Davis Mills could be a sleeper pick, super low salary, so he's high risk, high reward. But I don't really like either of these quarterbacks. But if I had to pick one, probably be Davis Mills here versus the Carolina Panthers. Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. Of course, you got the stud, Christian McCaffrey from the Carolina Panthers playing the Houston Texans, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they give up the third most fantasy points to opposing running backs. Christian McCaffrey has averaged 26.2 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 22.5 rush attempts per game and 7.5 pass targets per game. He's on the field for 79% of the snaps. He's going to be about 87% owned, projected at 26.7 fantasy points here tonight. Now, he is $13,400 DraftKings salary, but probably going to be worth every penny. Going to be a lot of captain lineups with Christian McCaffrey, and there is some value on this slate to be had if you go with Mills as quarterback and some cheap wide receivers and tight ends. And the game script could favor Christian McCaffrey, with Vegas thinking that the Carolina Panthers are going to be leading by 8.5 or favored by 8.5. Could be a running game script, and it's a fantastic matchup. So I like Christian McCaffrey here versus the Houston Texans.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal,
all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
And we'll send you $25 PayPal.
So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Now, if you want to save some salary at the running back position, take a look at Mark Ingram from the Houston Texans. And Mark Ingram, he averaged 9.8 fantasy points per game on the season, only scored 5 fantasy points last week, but he scored 15 fantasy points in week 1, and he's averaging 20 rush attempts, 1.5 pass targets, so that's good volume for a running back. Now, he is only on the field for 40% of the snaps, but he's touching the ball 78% of the time when he's on the field, and he's going to be about 18% owned, projected at 8.5 fantasy points here tonight. I think he can score 10 fantasy points or more in this one, and he's only 6,600 DraftKings salary. So I like Mark Ingram here versus the Carolina Panthers. Okay, let's take a look at the wide receiver position. The wide receiver studs on the slate. You got DJ Moore from the Carolina Panthers, and DJ Moore has averaged 18.7 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 9.5 pass targets per game, on the field for 85% of the snaps. He's going to be about 45% owned, projected at 16.3 fantasy points here in week 3, and he's 10,600 DraftKings salary. And the other stud you got is Brandon Cooks from the Houston Texans. He's averaged 22 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 10.5 pass targets per game, on the field for 84% of the snaps, and he's going to be about 41% owned, projected at 15.5 fantasy points here tonight. So I'm a little, I think it's a coin flip between these two guys if you had to pick one or the other. I'm a little worried about Brandon Cooks with David Mills as quarterback, but the game script will favor Brandon Cooks as the Houston Texans are likely to fall behind, have to pass the ball more to play catch up. But DJ Moore is going to be the more consistent wide receiver with his normal quarterback, Sam Darnold. So if I had to choose between the two, they're both about the same salary. I think this one's a coin flip. So I guess if I'm going to play Christian McCaffrey, then I would probably play Brandon Cooks. And if I'm not playing Christian McCaffrey, then I'd go with DJ Moore.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. Our NBA tools are awesome. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. If you want to save some salary at the wide receiver position, take a look at Robbie Anderson from the Carolina Panthers. He's averaging 9.8 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 4.5 pass targets per game. He's on the field for 77% of the snaps. He's going to be about 37% owned, projected at 12.6 fantasy points here tonight, and he's 7,800 DraftKings salary. So I like Robbie Anderson here versus the Houston Texans. Now, if you're looking for a sleeper pick, a salary saver, so you can fit in Christian McCaffrey, take a look at Chris Conley from the Houston Texans. Now, he's only averaging 3.5 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 2 pass targets per game, but he's on the field for 68% of the snaps, and he's going to be about 27% owned, projected at 7.4 fantasy points here tonight. So it looks like this is the sleeper pick, or this is the low salary option that most people are going to go to here, especially with the Houston Texans likely to fall behind. Chris Conley could get more targets here this week, and he's super low salary at only 1,600 DraftKings salary. So I like Chris Conley here versus the Carolina Panthers. Okay, moving on to the tight end position. So I'm going to stay away from Dan Arnold. He is 4,800 DraftKings salary, and he's only on the field for 39% of the snaps. He's averaging 3.5 pass targets per game, 5.6 fantasy points per game, and the Carolina Panthers could take a big lead here and not have to pass the ball as much. So you could go with Dan Arnold, but I prefer a guy like Farrah Brown for only 2,600 DraftKings salary from the Houston Texans, who's averaging 5.4 fantasy points per game on the season and 3 targets per game. He's going to be about 15% owned, and he's on the field for 70% of the snaps. Now, he's only projected at 4.7 fantasy points here tonight, but because of the game script, where the Houston Texans might have to throw the ball a bit more often than the Carolina Panthers, I think this is a good salary saver option here. So I like Farrah Brown here versus the Carolina Panthers. And the other guy, pretty much the same as Farrah Brown, is Jordan Akins. He's only $2,200 DraftKings salary from the Houston Texans. Now, he's only averaging 1.4 fantasy points per game off of 2 pass targets per game. He scored 3 and 0 fantasy points in his first 2 weeks. He's going to be about 11% owned, on the field for 61% of the snaps. He's projected at 5.3 fantasy points here tonight. So at the tight end position, to save some salary, I'm going to go with either Farrah Brown or Jordan Akins here versus the Carolina Panthers.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.